Hi, and welcome to the Synergy Sky Suite video tutorial series. I'm Nick Doyle, the Senior Sales Engineer in the Asia Pacific region for Synergy Sky, and we're going to walk through deploying Synergy Sky Suite into the Google Cloud Platform, or GCP. Now, this is part of the second series of video tutorials where we're deploying Synergy Sky Suite into various virtual environments. For an overview of the series, please watch the tutorial introduction video if you have not done so already. Now, compute requirements within GCP, the Synergy Sky Suite virtual machine image itself will consume a 10 gig disk. But outside of that, the recommended production requirements is using E2 standard 4 or N2 standard 4 compute, which utilizes 4 vCPUs, 16 gig of RAM, and we will also add an additional disk of 500 gig SSD. This is for the database. Minimum lab and proof of concept requirements. If you're only doing a small build, we can do it on an E2 standard 2 or N2 standard 2 compute, which is 2 vCPUs and 8 gig of RAM, and then adding only an additional 10 gig additional disk SSD. If you are looking to deploy this as a proof of concept into production, highly recommended starting with the production requirements listed here. Deployment steps, we're going to create or add the Synergy Sky Suite image into GCP. We're then going to create the virtual machine instance by specifying the compute requirements, attaching the secondary disk, and specifying network connectivity. And then we're going to power on the virtual machine and confirm access via SSH. Now, as a reminder, all the information covered in these video tutorials is available on our support pages at support.synergysky.com. Here you can find documentation with more detailed installation and configuration information, as well as additional resources, troubleshooting tools, and assistance. With that, let's get on to deploying within Google Cloud. So, I've already logged into my dashboard, and over here I'm going to click on the hamburger and select Compute Engine. We're going to spend all our time here. So first, in the left-hand panel, select Images. I've already created some images, but I will go and create another one. And I will call it Sky Suite Demo 2. We're going to use a cloud storage file, and the link for this storage file is available on our webpage. It'll tick, and I'm going to set it to Asia Pacific region for my location as I'm based in Australia. I'm going to move my head and click create, and that's going to create that image now for me. While that does that, I'm going to go to VM instances in the left-hand panel and create instance. I'm going to give it a name, Sky Suite Demo 1. It's available, which is great. I'm going to set my region to one closest to me, which is Sydney. And I'm going to set it to N2 and N2 standard 2. So I'm doing this as a lab with 2 vCPUs and 8 gig of RAM. Next, we look at the boot disk, and I'm going to change this to the one that we've just created in the custom images, which was the demo 2, and standard persistent disk, and then select down here. Okay, now that is ready for us to start looking at network. I'm going to allow HTTP and TTPS traffic because I don't have network connectivity between my corporate environment and GCP at this time. But if I did, I could configure that here under networking and also apply my security policies here. But what I will do is click on disks, and I'm going to add new disk. I'm going to call this Sky Suite Demo 2 DB, the database. I'm going to set this to SSD persistent disk. I can set a backup schedule or snapshots based off corporate policy, but for this lab I'm going to go no schedule. and I'm only going to set it to 10 gig disk. Now, as I say, production, you want 500 gig of storage space for the database, but as a lab, we can do a lot less. And that is all we need to do. We click on Done. There it is listed, and Create. So that's going to create in the background, and we'll be able to access that via SSH very soon. So I'll just open up my PowerShell ready to go. Now, I have already set up my SSH tokens with Google Cloud. We do have instructions on our support.synergysky.com website under the Google Cloud Platform deployment if you do need assistance in doing so. However, more than likely you already have this. So once the build has created, we're going to SSH admin at, and in a moment we should get an external IP address pop up. There it is. It's 35.244.112.34. It's going to check our security token. It will need a password. And there we go. We are now logged in, ready to go and start building our appliance. Hope you've enjoyed this video and look forward to seeing you on the next. Thank you.